Good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Thursday, May the 15th, 2025, and big night of boxing last night. I'm not sure whether you watched it. There was a fair few of you that actually tuned in and watched me watch it and give some live commentary. But look, I thought it was okay, just okay. Sam Goodman got the win, beating Cesar Ibaka over 10 rounds. I'll get through the whole card in a second. We'll go through it fight by fight and I'll give you some thoughts on it. First of all, we'll go to what happened on this day in boxing history. Let's go back to 1967. Madison Square Garden in New York. Dick Tiger defeated Jose Torres on points for the world light heavyweight title. In where was it? 1986, Julio Cesar Chavez knocked out Argentina's Faustino Barrios in 5 rounds to defend his world 130-pound title or super featherweight title. The fight took place in Paris, France. In 2004, who can forget this one? Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones Jr. in the second round in a massive upset. I think that was Roy's first defeat, although he did have the disqualification fight as well, didn't he? But he knocked out Roy Jones Jr. For the light heavyweight title. The fight took place in Las Vegas, Nevada. 2010, the Polish fighter, is it Krzysztof Włodarczyk? I think he's the one that fought Danny Green. Yeah, I think it was actually. He defended that same title that he defended against Danny Green, against Italian Giacobbe Fragamini in 8 rounds. That was in Poland. So we've got a couple more there. Also, 2010, Humberto Soto defeated Ricardo Dominguez by decision to defend his world lightweight title in Sinaloa. Is that Mexico, I'm assuming? And last one, 2021, American Brandon Figueroa defeated Luis Nery in the 7th round, stopped him in the 7th round for the world bantamweight title. And that fight took place in Carson, California. I'm assuming at the StubHub Center. That's where they normally are in Carson. That was on this day. So on to last night's fights. Morning. Come on, buddy. Got that lead tangled up there. Yeah, so the big fight night at Hordern Pavilion, No Limit, has probably copped a fair bit online since last night. Look, I don't think it was that bad. Yes, the main event probably wasn't the right type of fight to put on at that time of night. We're all a little bit tired, and that fight sort of helped us get to sleep, didn't it? It wasn't a great fight, but I'll get to that in a second. Let's go through the other results quickly and we'll get to the main fights. I didn't watch all the fights, by the way. I tuned in about 6:30. I think I logged on. I think Jazzy Parr was just about to fight, or just, if you can call it a fight. All right, there's a couple earlier fights. Terrell Adams beat Roy Guevara on points over 4 rounds, I think it was. Yep. I haven't got the records anyway. I'll just go through. I'm not really stressed about these ones. Salvatore Gattuso with a first round stoppage of Nikish Prasad at cruiserweight. At, what was that one for? Welterweight. Darangara Truella stopped Kaliova Tahiki in the 3rd round of a 4-rounder. He moves to 5-0. Tahiki drops to 2-1. Then, I can't believe this was even on TV, Jazzy Parr moved to 7-1 with a first round stoppage of Jinamat Fomta, who drops to 9-10 and has suffered her 6th knockout loss or stoppage loss. Look, I don't want to be continuing to lay the boots into Jazzy, but this is probably more their promoters. No Limit. This was an embarrassment to put on TV. It really was. It was an embarrassment to even make the fight. I thought we'd gotten past this as far as even the small promoters goes. When I was promoting, 10 years ago or whatever, it did happen quite occasionally, or quite often it would happen on certain shows. Ties would be brought in and just pretty much led to the slaughter. I just felt so bad for them. I thought we'd gotten past that. I think the fight cards over the years, whether it be either No Limit or Tasman or the lesser promoters, we'd gotten past this bringing in ties just for an easy knockout of opponents. I never thought I'd see it just so blatantly on a No Limit show. Supposed to be the biggest, well, they are the biggest promoters in Australia. And they had to pull out of the original opponent a few weeks back. They had plenty of time to get another opponent. You know, my feelings on who they should have got. But to bring in a Thai girl who was 9-9 and had been knocked out 5 times, especially by Aussies, I think they would have been better taking her off the card and saving her for another card down the track. They had enough fights on the card. They didn't need her. And I did comment on the watch along last night. Thanks to everyone, by the way, who did tune in last night to the watch along. We had nearly 5,000 views or something. And we had sort of between 250 and 300 all night watching, so it was really good. Probably 95% of those people were looking for a free live stream. But anyway, thanks for tuning in anyway. And we got about 50 new subscribers out of it, so you can't argue with that. That was good. But yeah, I just think No Limit, they would have been better off pulling her off the card, putting on another event somewhere else, and not put that fight on national TV. It was free. It wasn't part of the pay-per-view, so everyone could watch it. And geez, if you were scrolling through the channels and you stumbled across that and went, well, this is Australian boxing, I don't think so. It was disgraceful. It really was. She should not have been over here. And I did comment on the live watch along that. She would have got more benefit out of a 5-minute pad session out the back. Just a waste of time, waste of effort. I did say as well, waste of effort of braiding the hair, getting the hands wrapped, putting the gloves on, putting the outfit on, and even having your fans turn up. It was not good, not good. And I just, as I said, like with No Limit, I really thought that they should be setting the example as far as what other promoters are doing around the country, and putting that fight on that card was embarrassing for Australian boxing. There's as much good as they're doing No Limit. We don't need any more sort of black eyes in boxing in Australia, and I think that does do that when they put fights on like that. Already promoter does that, but especially the biggest promoter in Australia. I'm still trying to get my head around it, why they would even bother bringing her out. And if it was to make Jazzy look good, I think it did the opposite. I think you read the comments online, everyone just bashing this fight as far as what the hell were they thinking even putting the fight on. And it's certainly not going to get new fans to the sport, I wouldn't have thought. But anyway, at least it's over with now anyway. All right, the other fights on the card, Jason Fawcett, Alex Luhal. Not a bad fight, actually. Jason Fawcett winning a 6-round decision. He moves to 10-2. Alex Luhal drops to 5-3. But look, Luhal had his moments. I thought he boxed really well. Fawcett looked a lot better to me than he had in a lot of his previous fights, because he wasn't reckless. He really thought his way through it. He did throw some bombs, don't get me wrong, but normally you see him fight, he's just all bombs left, right and centre. But I thought he boxed smart against Luhal, and he had to, because Luhal was a nice, well, he's a neat, sharp sort of counter-punching type of guy, and I thought he boxed well. I thought he also dropped Luhal, I think, in the 5th round, but it wasn't called a knockdown. Thankfully, it wasn't a close decision going the other way, or else it would have been all sorts of controversy. But yeah, I was impressed with Jason Fawcett. And I think, what is he, super lightweight? So you never know. There could be some fights out there with some of the other good 140-pounders out there in Australia. But yeah, he moves to 10-2, and not a bad effort from him. Then we went to the main card, and Charlie Kazzy with a 8-round decision over Patrick Vella. Now, Patrick Vella is the young flashy kid who turned up at the press conference with the sunglasses and the headphones, and I think he wore a Nike headband into the ring, and it was all entertainment. But look, he backed it up. I thought in the first 2 rounds this was only going to go one way. I thought Charlie Kazzy was going to take him out at some stage, but I thought he boxed really well. Very unorthodox, sort of all over the place sometimes. He did the Ali shuffle a few times and a little bit of taunting to Charlie Kazzy. But yeah, he backed up what he'd done in the press conference and the weigh-in. And he's not going to be a world beater, Patrick Vella, but he's entertaining, and I think he'll get a lot more spots on No Limit shows. I thought he was good. And Charlie Kazzy, unfortunately, if I'm being honest, to me, I mean, what is he now, 9-0? Patrick Vella drops to 2-1. I think he might have been just exposed a little bit as having a long, long way to go. Everyone got a little bit excited when he took out Nort Beauchamp in 1 round, who was pretty much a bantamweight fighting a lightweight at the time on the side there. But look, he's got a bit to go, Charlie Kaz. He's an exciting young guy, but his limitations were sort of shown last night. He needs to. He needs probably another half a dozen fights around that level before he even steps up, even to national level. Well, maybe not national level, but the fringes of stepping outside of Australia. Good young kid. He's exciting. He's got a lot of potential. He can punch. He gets inside. He works well inside. But yeah, he didn't really have the answers to Patrick Valla last night. And I thought, I don't have the scorecards here, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty wide. I don't think it was as wide as maybe the scorecard said from memory, but I thought maybe it was 5 rounds to 3, 6 rounds to 2. But he did enough, but yeah, he needs to do more, I think, if he's going to make a splash. Then we went to Monty, Fathy and Wade Ryan. Wow, that was a big shock, wasn't it? The first 2 rounds, it was dull, not much happening, which is probably the case sometimes with Wade Ryan. He just does tend to work his way through. Takes him a few rounds to get going. He's very awkward, and I thought he frustrated Monty Fathy in the first 2 rounds, probably 2.5 rounds. And then it was a boom. He landed a right hand. He did step it up a little bit in the 3rd round, did Fathy. I think his corner had said, look, you've got to start getting his respect, start pushing him back, and he did. And then out of nowhere, just landed just a beautiful right hand on the button. Now, it wasn't a particularly hard, devastating punch, but it just hit him right on the button, on the eye. And you could see Wade Ryan, he sort of stopped. He sort of hesitated for a second, and he just sort of crept backwards and then took a knee and then took the 10 count. I thought he might have just gotten hit on the right spot and just need a bit of a spell. I thought he might get up at 8 and away he'd go, but that eye was not good. It swelled up. I wouldn't be surprised if he had like maybe a cracked eye socket or something like that. It was a really good shot, hit him right on the button. And when they announced the winner, his eye was really starting to swell shut by then. So hope he's okay, and I'm sure he will. But it was a good performance by Monty Fathy, and he's going to have some big fights afterwards. He did call out Michael Zarafa after the fight. I'm not quite sure he's ready for that, but you've got to call out fights to get him, don't you? So morning. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get Michael Zarafa anytime soon, because Michael, obviously, he's got bigger things on his plate, and Monty Fathy's only had what's his record now? He is 9-1. Wade Ryan drops to 22-13-1. Good for him to call out Michael Zarafa, but as I said, I just think he's looking at those bigger fights, and really nothing to gain by fighting Monty Fathy. So good win for him, and I'm sure he'll get some bigger fights against some other, in that division, 154 super welter. There's plenty of guys around, so I'm sure he'll get an opportunity against one of those guys. Then into the heavyweights. It wasn't looking good at the start. Stephen Ivic and Tuisi Bosawatu, the first 5 or 6 rounds were quite dull, weren't they? I think it was the first 5 rounds. Then in the 6th round, Ivic put Bosawatu down and looked like it was all over. Bosawatu looked like he was pretty much going to be done in the corner after round 6. But then he came out in round 7 and just put it all on the line, went after Stephen Ivic and had him in trouble, almost had him going down. And it was really ignited the fight. Up to that point, it had been a very dull fight. And then the last 3 rounds of the fight were just hell for leather, back and forth. It was a great fight. So the first 5 rounds almost put you to sleep. The last 5 rounds were some of the best heavyweight action you'll ever see. So Stephen Ivic winning was it a unanimous decision, I think, in the end, or majority decision, whatever it was, but he won it. He moved to 7-0-1. Bosawatu drops to 8-2. I don't think Stephen Ivic's the best heavyweight in Australia, even though he's got the title. I would still think Liam Talivaha is the number 1 heavyweight in the country, apart from, of course, Justice Huni. He'll probably have a rematch with Brendan Grush, will Talivaha. But either way, really, really good scrap, and gave me a little bit of faith in why I paid the $50. And then we went into the co-main. Harry Garside with a 5th round, was it 5th? Yeah, 5th round stoppage of Charlie Bell. He moves to 4-0. Charlie Bell drops to 5-2. Look, I was pretty vocal about this last night. I don't believe it should have been stopped. Harry Garside looked really good. He looked really good. For someone that's been out of the ring for 3 years as a pro, not necessarily in boxing in general. He'd been in the amateurs, of course. I thought he looked good. He got cut in the first round. He got hit with a really good right hand from Harry. No, it wasn't a right hand, was it? I'm thinking of the the main event. They did clash heads, and both of them had those nasty cuts over the eyes. Probably both had an inch cut each over their eye. The good thing about it was on the side of the eyes, so the blood was streaming down. Now, make no mistake, Harry Garside was winning the rounds. And he looked good, throwing lots of combinations. But I tell you what, Charlie Bell really stood his ground. I thought he gave as good as he got. I thought he put in a really good performance, Charlie Bell. But strangely, he was warned after the 4th round that he needed to do more or the referee would stop the fight. This is Les Fear now. The look on Charlie Bell's face was, what? Are you kidding me? And his trainer was even more perplexed. And I think his trainer actually sit in between rounds and he said, mate, come on. This is a fight. You know, he's doing okay. All right, he's not getting knocked around. He's doing okay. Sorry about that. Just had to wipe my nose there. But after the 5th round, Les Fear stopped the fight. I don't agree with it. I'm a big advocate for stopping it too early rather than too late. I've been vocal about that in the past. But in this case, it's not like he was really getting beat up and hurt and rocked and dazed. Yes, he was being outclassed. That's probably the best way you could probably describe it. He was being outclassed. Harry Garside was getting the better of the exchanges. But I tell you what, Harry, he was under pressure a few times. Charlie Bell hit him with some good shots, well-timed shots. I thought he was well poised, well balanced, composed. I thought Charlie Bell fought a good fight, and I think he deserved to go the last round. And as I said, I'm all for stopping fights early if a guy's getting really knocked around, but he wasn't getting knocked around. He was getting outclassed, and there's a difference between being sort of battered and just being outclassed and losing the rounds, but not losing them by a lot. I thought he boxed really well, and I think he deserved to go the last round. I just don't see. This is professional boxing, not amateur boxing, okay? In amateur boxing, if you're outclassed, yep, okay, they'll stop the fight. Professional boxing, okay, a totally different sport. So, yeah, I was disappointed in Les Fear. I don't think it should have been stopped. Let me know what you guys think. But while Harry Garside was winning the fight, I thought Charlie Bell held his own and deserved to see out that last round. But anyway, on to the main event, and probably, I was going to say the less said about it, the better, but what we have to talk about, I thought Sam Goodman, he looked okay. Jorge, I keep calling him Jorge Vaca after the welterweight world champion, Cesar Vaca. Look, he sort of turned up and he sort of didn't, if that makes sense. He is an awkward guy. I was surprised from the first bell that Sam Goodman took centre ring. He was really aggressive, trying to make the fight. It was Vaca on the back foot, sort of boxing. It was just one of those fights that just never really got going, did it? We had a brief moment, I think, in the 8th round where the first 7 rounds had been dull. The 8th round, Vaca lined up and landed a beautiful left hook counter on Sam Goodman and opened him up. Not sure it was the same cut from the sparring incident. I don't think it was. It didn't look too bad. Then in the 9th round, clash of heads, opening him up on the right eye. So not a great night for Sam Goodman in that way. But look, he's not the most exciting fighter in the world. I don't think that performance would have endeared him to too many fans. But look, he got the job done, and that's all you need to do. And I suppose there's got to be some element of caution to him. He's ranked number 1 by a couple of organisations, but geez, just based on last night, you got to wonder how he's going to mix it with the best 122-pounders in the world. Vaca is far from it. He dropped to 19-2-1. Sam, I think, improved to 20-0 with 8 knockouts. So, but yeah, hang on, buddy. He's got a way to go, Sam. I don't know. I don't know whether he's at the level or he's not. It's really hard to gauge. He looked impressive last night in certain patches, but at the same time, he wasn't impressive in others. I don't know. I just, very hard to get a read on Sam Goodman. Is he good enough or not? Maybe he will rise against those better fighters, but geez, yeah, last night wasn't a great fight. It really wasn't. A little bit of drama, as I said, when he got cut, and a little bit under a little bit of pressure in that 9th round, but it wasn't ever really in any danger. And I think he ended up winning 9-1 on all 3 cards, was it? Or maybe 8-2 or something on one, or it might have been 8-1 and 1 even. I think the other one might have been. But anyway, he's supposed to fight on the Tim Tszyu Fundora card in July. I doubt that's going to happen. It's only a couple of months away, and with cuts over both eyes, I would think he'll be out till probably August or September, you would probably think. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Sam Goodman. The intriguing thing with him is, Nay Winaway's obviously the champion. He missed that boat for Dow anyway. And Nay Winaway's got 3 fights lined up. Yes, 3 fights lined up. So you would think that the best that Sam Goodman could do is maybe around September next year if Inouye still got the belt. But you never know. At some stage they might strip Inouye and he might get a crack at one of the vacant belts. But I just don't know how we go with a Cardenas or a Neary or Tapales. I just don't know how we go against them because we hasn't fought anybody to give us an idea. And as good as he's been and as highly ranked as he is, the facts are I can't think of a world-class fighter that he's actually fought and beat. So he's sort of got the rankings by stealth a little bit by simply winning a regional belt and getting in the top 15 and then just hanging around and just sort of going through the motion, keeping winning, and finds himself at number 1. So look, all the best to Sam Goodman. I sincerely mean that. But yeah, it's a mystery to me how he's going to go against the top guys, especially Naoya Inoue. I don't think that ends well for Sam, unfortunately, that one. But who knows, he might even get a chance to fight him. He might get another belt, as I said, by fighting for a vacant belt. We will see. All right, just a couple of quick ones, guys. The Canelo-Crawford card has been moved to September the 13th. Now, I think it's due to a football game or something on the stadium that weekend. But there's also talk that, well, this is conflicting news reports. It's been moved to September 13 from September 12, which is Saturday night. Now, was listed as being at the Allegiant Stadium, but apparently Turki Al-Sheikh is saying no date has actually been locked in. No venue has been locked in yet. So it could be Los Angeles and it could be New York yet, because apparently there's a fair bit going on in Vegas that weekend. So we will see. But either way, it's going to be a massive fight. Doesn't really matter where it is, I suppose. I would have thought they would have thrown Dallas into it as well. Maybe there's a football game on there, I don't know, but Canelo down there would draw very well, being close to the border of Mexico. You get a lot up for that one. This freaking dog, I tell you. Come on, man, we'll get past this dog. Does it to me every day when we walk past down here. So anyway, we'll keep a lookout for that one when that's announced. New York on July 12. So we've got the July 11. Shut up. Come on, man. July 11, we've got the big all-female card at Madison Square Garden. That's Taylor and Serrano 3. On July 12th is the Shiraz, Berlanga, Zapata, Stevenson, Puello, and Matias, and Morel and Iman Kataev card. So that's going to be at Louis Armstrong Arena. Now, if you're not familiar with that, that's where they hold the US Open tennis. Holds about 14,000 people. So that'll be really good. Somewhere a little bit different. It has got a roof on it, which is good as well. So yeah, that should be something a little bit different for fight fans going to a tennis stadium. And with you'd think it'd have nice air conditioning and the roof and all that sort of stuff. So at that time of year, it's going to be very, very warm in New York. So that's where that fight card's going to land. And I did mention yesterday that Bob Arum was looking to hold maybe Charlie Suarez and Emmanuel Navarrete 2 in Manila for the 50th anniversary of Ali Fraser 3, the Thriller in Manila. Manny Pacquiao has also said that if he wins in July, that he may fight on that date as well. So we might have a massive card in Manila, headlined by Manny Pacquiao and with Suarez and Navarrete on the undercard. So if you're a Filipino fight fan over there, you could be getting your wish and having Manny Pacquiao fight a massive fight in his home country, which will be a great way for hopefully Manny to go out if he does win the WBC title. So guys, that's going to do it. Give me your thoughts as always. And if you have got a question or anything, topic you'd like me to talk about, just let us know in the chat or message me on Instagram, and happy to have a chat about it one morning on Walking Boxing. So guys, have a great Thursday. We'll catch you tomorrow.